Returning back to home position, or in other words, returning to machine 0 position, is mostly needed in operation starts in multi-axis CNC machine tools. However, unlike many post-processors in the market, Monospost does not need to return to the home position at each operation start. We have two types of positioning in Monospost Developer. First one is home return positioning, or in other words, safe positioning. And second one is simultaneous positioning. Monospost has smart algorithms to automatically determine when to go back to the home position or when to activate simultaneous positioning. You should also watch the video, Positioning, under Events and Actions heading, to learn more about Monospost's smart positioning algorithms. We strongly do not recommend adding home return codes inside Format Operation Start commands. This is wrong. This will create many unwanted home return movements and also increase your CNC machining times. So how does Monospost determine when to return to home position and when not to? So simple. While you are inside the top level operation, just activate Event Linear Rapid Motion. And later, select Action Linear Motion. Here, you see the positioning header. All positioning motions between operations, as well as positioning within an operation, are managed with the parameters in this heading. The values you define here will determine when to return to the home point and when to activate simultaneous positioning. These first two parameters are for operation start. First one is for rotary axis 1, and second one for rotary axis 2. Here, for operation starts, you define the maximum allowable limits for both rotary axis changes separately. But first of all, if you activate home return at each operation start, these two parameters will not have any effect. In that case, cutting tool will always retract to the home point at each operation start. If you make it false, then these two parameters will start to affect the post-processor. At an operation start, if the amount of rotary axis change for any of the two rotary axes is higher than the limits defined here, then Monospost automatically activates safe positioning, or in other words, home return mode. By doing so, cutting tool retracts to the home position at operation start. At safe positioning mode, Monospost first activates Format Go to Safe Position, and then Format Positioning at Safe Position respectively. In Format Go to Safe Position command, you should define home return motions. And inside Format Positioning at Safe Position command, you have to define reapproach motions in X, Y, and Z axes after home return movement. Format Positioning Safe Position can be performed in different cutting modes, such as TCPC or plane. In this post-processor, we can understand that plane mode is used since G68.2 is added before positioning moves. According to the CNC machine kinematics, it is decided in which cutting mode positioning moves will be performed. Let's turn back to the action linear motion. If the rotary axis changes for both rotary axes are lower than these two limiting values, then these two safe positioning commands are not activated. Instead, Monospost activates either Format Motion First Linear or Format Motion First Rapid commands. We call this as simultaneous positioning. This means that, instead of going back to the home position, Monospost positions the cutting tool just above the part. Note that, if Format Motion First Linear and Rapid commands are not defined in a post-processor, Format Motion Linear or Format Motion Rapid will be activated instead in simultaneous positioning. This smart algorithm ensures that, for small rotary axis changes between operations, unwanted home returns are minimized at operation starts. Let's now look at these two parameters. These two parameters here are for operation insides, not for operation starts. Their usage is exactly the same as the operation start parameters. There are two limiting parameters here for each rotary axis. If one of the rotary axis change in an operation is above these limits, Monospost activates the safe positioning mode. If the rotary axis change, for both rotary axes, are lower than these two limiting values, monospost activates simultaneous positioning mode. Note that positioning inside of an operation only becomes active at rapid moves. Also note that you can add new event linear, rapid motion under different operations. By doing so, you can define different limits for different operation types. For instance, let's change these settings for simultaneous operation. I will change these parameters now. After this change, in all operations except simultaneous operations, monospost activates home return mode when rotary axis changes are higher than 10 degrees. However, for simultaneous operations, it will activate safe positioning mode when rotary axis changes are higher than 20 degrees.